Hello everybody and welcome to the deep dive. In today's video I'm going to go over 7 of my favourite scuba diving hacks to make your scuba diving just that little bit easier. So let's dive straight in. Wetsuits are tough to get into when they fit you properly. They're supposed to be snug, but that does mean that getting your hands and feet through those tight little seals can be tough. You know those huge plastic gloves that you get at petrol pumps? Next time you go to fill up your car, just grab a handful of those because they make donning your suit much easier because the seal doesn't stick to your skin. And you can use them just again and again. They're reusable, so just store them in your kit bag ready for your next dive. For your feet, however, they don't really give away plastic socks at gas stations, so use an old plastic shopping bag. Same deal, put it over your foot and it makes it much easier to get your foot in. With the prevalence of communicable diseases in this day and age, as scuba divers we need to get out of the habit of spitting in our masks to defog them. There are of course commercial defog gels and sprays available, but they're all in teeny tiny little bottles that run out at the worst possible time, and mil for mil, they're actually pretty expensive. A cheaper alternative that works really well is baby shampoo. It's cheap and it comes in pretty large volume containers, so you can decant before every dive trip, and you need to dilute it as well with water so it goes even further. Now you only need a few drops of the stuff just mixed in with water to make a pretty effective defog solution, and the best part of it, it's no more tears. First time I use it I didn't know you had to dilute it. That hurt. You're just like I'm gonna put that in the video. I think I swapped to my backup bars just because it hurt so much. I was like, no more tears. If you've got a leaking gauge or you need to replace the hose on your gauges, but they're stuck in one of those really rigid rubber boots that you just cannot get it out from, dunk your gauges in some boiling water for a few minutes. The hot water will soften up that rubber boot so that you can pop the gauges out much easier. Obviously afterwards just be careful because it will be hot.
Input a clip of that. Indiana Jones.
Yes. That's perfect. If there's one really useful thing I've learned from years of cold water diving, it's to bring more than one hood with you for the day's diving. Before your second dive, you have to put on that cold, wet hood from the first dive, and it's never a pleasant experience. Do yourself a favour and buy a second hood so that you can put on a nice warm, dry hood for your second dive, whilst your first hood is just drip drying in your bag. Your dive knife is an essential tool, so it's very important to look after them. If you have a stainless steel blade, it will still rust over time. So before your dive, smother the blade in silicone grease or some other hydrophobic gel to keep the water away from actually touching the metal, especially where the handle attaches, so that water doesn't get underneath the handle and rust the knife from the inside. I know it's obvious to look at fish when you're scuba diving, but the ones in the distance can actually tell you what the water conditions are like over there. If you're diving on a pinnacle, then current is invisible and it can just catch you out, unless you can read the signs. If there's a shoal of fish, they're all kind of swimming around in the water and sort of minding their own business, then there won't be much current. But if they all huddle together and they're all swimming in the same direction close to the reef, then they'll be swimming into the current. When you're new to scuba diving, everybody looks the same in the water, and trying to find someone can be especially tricky, especially when they're facing away from you. One thing that you can usually see from most angles are a diver's fins. Fins come in a huge variety of colours and different shapes, so they're usually really distinguishable, so you can recognise who's who underwater even when they're facing away from you, so just look at their fins. And there were just 7 of my scuba diving hacks to help make your scuba diving a bit more comfortable, but let us know what hacks you found down in the comments below. If you found this video useful, then please feel free to subscribe to the Simply Scuba channel, because we have a whole bunch of other scuba diving videos already online. Thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.